Good morning. We
Hey,
are
Jeff.
raw.
Good morning.
Hey, Deb. Yeah, here we are. It's a beautiful Wednesday at the end of August, and
It
we're
is. I went outside and there was actually a little bit of coolness in the air. It was phenomenal.
it's nice, but man, we don't want autumn to come here yet.
No, not yet. I
But
still want summer.
yeah, but if we think about the fall, is it the fall of marketing because AI is coming and
Ah,
agentic AI? I mean, are we
aren't
going to
you
be talking
funny?
about that?
Yeah, we want to talk about AI agents today, and I don't know about everybody else listening, but I can tell you that at the Pedowitz group, we are obsessed with using agents. There is no end to how we are using them to power our business. And so, what we wanted to do today was to talk about AI agents, talk about what they are, and just kind of take it from there. So, Jeff, why don't we just kind of go a little interview style here, and I'll ask you a couple of questions. How about that?
Sure, I love being interviewed. Why not?
Okay,
Just don't
absolutely.
don't turn the light up too high.
Okay, Mr. Pedowitz, what is an AI agent, and why the hell should we care?
Okay, I thought you were going to ask me if I could be a tree. What kind of tree
No,
would
no,
I
no,
be?
no trees today.
Well, really, and before we get into agents, most people's experience with AI over the last couple of years has been with a ChatGPT or a Claude. It takes an input, transforms it back. You say something or ask it for something, and then it does something. It's very transactional, sequential. An agent basically takes a common set of tasks or processes and does them at scale using AI. So a very simple process. I go in, I set up an email, I send the email. I start a creative brief, right? And a creative brief has a series of steps and processes. I have to get a budget for approval. I need to look up information on a prospect. All these things are just, when you break them down, there are a series of steps. So an agent takes anything that's 2 or more steps and it executes it autonomously. That's really the key thing. It's not, once you've trained it, does not require human intervention because it understands what the process is and then it can execute at scale.
So give me another example, because even the examples that you gave, I wasn't really clear on it. It kind of sounded a little bit like, what we were already doing with AI. So try to give me a more differentiated definition.
No, what most people are using AI for is really to enhance their creativity.
Mhm.
They're going in and they're asking it to write emails, landing pages, proposals. They're taking transcriptions of meetings and they're doing summaries. They're doing data analysis. But these are still all requests at the direction of the user, right? So
Mhm.
you go in and you go into a Claude or ChatGPT, you ask it to do something,
Mhm.
you interact with it like Tony
Mhm.
Stark interacts with Jarvis. So let me give you a real example. Most of us in marketing have some kind of alert system, whether it's 6 Sense or Demand Base or Pandora. A company is on our site. Yay. Okay. So what do we normally do? Somebody in marketing ops, they see the alert, they go into a Zoom, a Clearbit, an Apollo, someplace. They look the company up. They find all the right contacts they're supposed to. Then they import them into their marketing automation platform. Then they set up a series of emails, and then they start marketing to that company. That's a standard process that many marketing people do every single day. Now, a good marketing ops person for one company could probably do that in a few hours, multiply that times companies. But if you train an AI agent to do it, it's going to happen in seconds.
I love that. I mean, and that is just a great example. And it almost sounds like these agents will replace a lot of the features of a marketing automation system.
Not exactly, because agents are working with marketing automation, but they're also working with all the other systems that we use. The agent itself still has to go through some kind of email gateway. There still has to be an orchestration layer. The agent in and of itself is not doing the cookie tracking to understand. The agent by itself independently is not doing the scoring. So you start thinking about all the features and capabilities a marketing stack has or a CRM has. It's really about getting the agents to work with the systems versus replacing them.
So So it sounds like it's more of a programmer's job. Like, how hard would that be to do? Because wow, how do you do that?
Well, you're definitely going to need some technical talent to get these to work, especially in the early years, because we're still at the early stages of AI. We're kind of like in the first or second inning here, to use the baseball analogy. But as time goes on, the agents, and there will be software and standards that make it easier for a typical marketing operations person to learn those skills, and then it will just become part of their
So give me a really simple example of how you would do something like that.
Well, using the example that I just did. So again, assuming that you have some of these platforms in place, but let's just say I have 6sense, I have Marketo, I have Salesforce, and maybe I have Jasper, right? So just four platforms. Well, 6sense is already doing what it does, right? It's so every single day it's got the engine that's running and it's getting the accounts. We can talk about 6sense's own AI capabilities in a minute, but this isn't really about any one particular software platform. But okay, so I'm already connected. So my 6sense should be connected to my Marketo instance, should be connected to my Salesforce instance. It's probably not connected to Jasper, but that's okay. So what I would do, the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to set up a connection and put an AI between Jasper and Marketo.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to do is I can use a light workflow engine like Zapier or Workato, and I can be listening for 6sense. I see the alert. Then the first thing I do is I go to Zoom, and this is happening in the workflow engine, and I say, okay, go look up this company, find these contacts with these titles. Next step, now that you have them, I want you to use the API in Marketo. I want you to insert them in. Okay, next step. Now what I want you to do is I can either use Claude or ChatGPT research. Now that I have the names and their companies and their LinkedIn profiles, I want to do deep research on them. Okay, so I want to look them up. And now that I have them, now what I want you to do is I want you to write an email in Marketo with the research that you just found and send it. And so that's an example of, it's not really coding. You're using a workflow engine, leveraging the API capabilities already, but you're still building an agent with mostly common stuff. Where is AI coming in? AI is doing the dynamic personalization. It's doing the research on the contacts so that you could write something personal.
It's doing the connections. It's pulling the data. It's putting it all together, and it's getting it out the door.
It's doing part of that, Deb. It's doing part of that, but part of it is there's already standard connections that exist with these different software companies that you don't necessarily need AI for.
Okay.
But you're interweaving AI combined with workflow to do something at a repeatable scale.
Okay. How long would it take to do something like that, to write it? I mean, to actually put that agent together? A couple of hours. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. One of the things that I see AI agents doing is really and you just said it, but it's making connections across systems and then taking action on those connections, right? And does that mean that, eventually marketing will become just a whole bunch of AI agents, or will we still need the big technology?
Well, I think like everything else, it's just reimagining the workforce, right? So we often joke about our age, but the reality is,
I don't know about you, but I'm 30 something,
and you look it too.
Thank you.
But no, seriously, think about when we graduated, there wasn't even an internet. There was no mobile phone, there was no social, there was no email marketing. And what did marketers do? So I got my degree in marketing. Well, my first job was doing direct mail for a bank and catalog marketing.
Right.
So channels have emerged. So now in the last 20 years, you could have a career in social media. You could be an influencer. You could be a mobile app developer, right? You could be an email specialist. You could be a search specialist. So did some jobs go away from when you and I graduated based upon how they were defined? Sure, but so many more were created. So I think everyone is so worried about
Well,
AI.
that is a constant refrain that we see. And then when you sit here and tell me it's not going to take a couple of hours to do this, and someone in marketing operations may have spent, I don't know, months trying to pull all that together, it kind of sounds like it will be taking jobs away.
Well, no, because if people actually do this the right way, instead of running on the proverbial hamster wheel, which marketing does because they're trying to be everything to everybody and running and trying to get stuff out the door, they can actually have time to really think with good strategy, really get to know their customers and come up with unique go-to-market approaches that will really resonate, right? And that's really, AI to me is a gift to humanity, not a curse, because if we use this the right way, we should have a lot more free time.
Yeah.
I think that the challenge is that
I don't think we're ever going to have free time as marketers.
maybe not.
That's an over exaggeration.
Right, but I mean, think about how much our 40-hour work week today and how productive we are as a workforce.
Right.
Is 3 or 4 times more than when our parents and our grandparents were.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So AI just makes us better.
And I think it's the level of impact that we can make. I mean, marketers' time is like a woman's purse. You're always going to fill it up with something, right? Kind of getting back to this, taking my job thing, it's almost as if with AI, AI, when you think about AI in the early ways that we were using it, that you were just describing, it was kind of like it was a tool. But AI agents is actually like an extended workforce, right? So think about, how many agents do we have working right now within our own company, Jeff? How many agents do we have running today? Dozens, right? And, by next week, by next month, it could be, over 100. So it's kind of like an extended workforce, right? So how do you shift that? How do you shift that mindset from, and it's shifting the mindset, not just we've already shifted the mindset to AI as a tool. Now we have to shift the mindset to AI agents are like an extended workforce, right? And how do we shift that mindset?
Well, I think there's 2 ways to do it. One way is brute force way, which is not my preference. And then the second one is really just enabling and empowering your employees. The first way is, and I read a story about this last week, CEO of a software company, he told them 3 years ago he saw AI was coming, and he really pushed his team to go in all AI, and he just was getting into a lot of resistance, which a lot of companies did. So he made the decision to end up firing 80% of his workforce and replace them with people that were going to go all in on AI.
Yeah.
So it was like a rip the Band-Aid off approach to culture.
Yeah.
Now that does work for some companies. I don't advocate that. I don't think that's a healthy way to do it, but it does work. So,
however, I will say this. Let's address the elephant in the room. If I'm a CMO and I know we can be create 10x more impact by adopting AI and AI agents, that we should, and I have people that are constantly pushing back, they're out of here. They're out of here.
I think that's fair too.
For that, Jeff, right?
That's true too. That's true too. I'm just saying my personal style of leadership. Are you saying
that I'm a mean person? Because I'm not. I'm just saying that let's call it like it is. CMOs have this pressure for performance, and these, AI was one thing, but AI agents, it's a whole new game, right? And if you don't have a team of people that, we call it in the South, grab it and growl, right? They don't have that grab it and growl mentality around AI agents and what it can do for the business. You're out of here.
I've known you for 25 years, and every time I think I've heard every possible Southern expression out of your mouth, you surprise me. I hear another one.
Always have new ones, Mr. Pedowitz. Always have new ones.
But you're right, Deb. Look, but that's why I mentioned it first, because, and if you are owned by a private equity firm or you've got a board that's applying pressure, that might be your reality anyway. you know, and they're just driving you to do more with less, and then you have no choice to get people on board. But the second way, and really for more long-lasting change, it's really working with the employees to show them how their job is better. How do they make more money? How do they grow? How do they scale? You got it. Like anything about change, it's not about the company, it's about the employee. You have to make it about them. Because if you don't, they're never going to do it.
Right. And if you think about the definition of a mindset, it's a perception and a belief system, right? And you have to get right into the root of why people believe and perceive things as they are. And that's why, you know, we see quite often companies not doing either brute force, and they're also not doing any real active change to help people adopt this new mindset. And so there's a lot of people, I think, that are just kind of, you know, falling out the middle because
well, I would say that, you know, too many, and I don't know how many from a percentage, but that's an unfortunate reality. Too afraid to do anything, so we'll just maintain the status quo. So we're not going to change. We'll just wait. Yeah. But that's a death sentence.
More so than ever, Jeff. I mean, I think I was, you know who I'm talking about. I was working with a company last year, and we were kind of redoing their org. And this person had some people that were just kind of like, you know, legacy people. And for a long time, he had the luxury of keeping them around. CMOs don't have those luxuries anymore, right? This is really putting the spotlight on performance in a way that we haven't seen before. And I think that when the executive suite really begins to understand the impact of AI agents versus just AI, that pressure is going to become even worse.
Well, especially when they start to realize that it's not just about marketing. As these agents get smarter, they can do many of the tasks the executives are doing.
Absolutely.
So you start to think about, well, do we need another C-level person?
Absolutely.
Or another level manager? But again, I mean, if you only look at it through a lens of how many people can I replace and how much more efficient can I get?
It's not about efficiency. It's about performance and impact.
About performance and growth.
Yes.
And growth mindset. And the best leaders will realize that, like all workforces, they change over time. So look at today's workforce. How many generations do we have, right? We have Gen X, right? We have millennials.
We have five generations in the workforce right now.
Okay. Yeah. So we all have different cultural references.
Yes.
We grow up differently. We use tech differently. So our workforce today, forget tech for a second. Our workforce today is different than it was 10 years ago. It's different than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So play the tape forward. Change is a constant. So our workforce, even without AI, is going to look different 10 years from now, 5 years from now. But AI is an accelerant, the same way that the internet was an accelerant. You get these once in a generational types of technology changes or disruptors.
Except for the pace is faster than the internet was. You know, the internet kind of hung around much faster than that. So, hey, I know we could talk about AI agents forever, but I want to ask you a question. So for everybody listening, you know, if you're not using agents, Jeff, give me some suggestions on where to start.
So again, I mean, right now, even within most of your marketing automation or CRM platforms, there's some AI capability in there that's doing some processes. I would start just exploring there. You don't have to go out and buy a bunch of software. Second, just sit down with your team and make a list of all your processes that you do within marketing by department. What are the highly repetitive, highly manual, laborious types of things that you do over and over and over?
Now that's addressing efficiency.
I know, but I'm trying to answer your question.
Oh, right. So, okay.
Because people jump to the tech first, and that's not the right way.
Well, I wasn't thinking about jumping to the tech. I was thinking about, yes, you can sit down and you can have more efficient processes, which does go to saving money, blah, blah. But I think they should look at performance, growth, revenue. That's where I would focus AI agents.
And that's a good place too, Deb. I think though, practically, I think if they could just learn by improving some processes and get more efficient, they get more comfortable because it feels safer.
Yeah.
Well, of course, you and I are always going to advocate for marketing driving growth and having a seat at the revenue table. But if you haven't done anything with AI or agentic, it's a big leap, right, to get there. So all I'm saying is, because we've been talking about a growth mindset, change management, even for a CMO, pick a small thing that you can do and get a win and learn from. Pick a process with 2 or 3 steps and then go.
You just sound so damn like practical, and I kind of feel this need for speed right now, right? I just feel
damn
like
the torpedoes. Let's go. Okay.
Yeah, that's. I mean, and we've been on the AI train, since the beginning, of course. But I just kind of feel like you better be on it like right now. The need for speed is like right now. If you're not on it, you need to shake every tree limb you can. You need to get on it. That's what I think.
Well, that I agree with, but I think it's still learning by doing. I mean, like if you looked at my browser right now, I've got like 50 tabs open, and half of them are AI something. Like, I'm in there all day long.
All you gotta do is say, I need to do this. Is there an AI app for that? And the answer is yes, there is.
I'm sure there absolutely is. One doesn't immediately come to mind, but yeah.
How about the one we just put on our website?
That's a good one. Yeah. So if you guys just go to Pedowitz Group, agentic-AI, and you can explore over 750 of them. So there's, but I think Deb, you're right. I mean, you got to jump in. And you got to start somewhere. But if you're still waiting, like, well, let's just see how this all shakes out. You're going to be like, your competitors are just going to blow past you.
Yeah. It's past time to say, well, let me think about that. Let me have a meeting to plan it out. We're way the hell past that.
Yeah, I need 90 days to have a plan, to come up with a plan.
None of that shit. None of that shit.
You got to have a 9-minute plan.
You got to have, I like that. A 9-minute plan versus a 90-day plan. There you go. I think I completely and totally agree.
Yeah. So we're going to be talking a lot about AI and agents over the next year for sure. But thanks y'all for checking in.
Thanks everybody.
Yeah. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
All right. No comment.